Hello, I'm Lucas, and it is the weekend. And while I didn't do a Friday Reads, I figure why not do it now? So, just to recap what I read this week, I finished reading Darth Plagueis by James Luceno, which is a Star Wars novel about Darth Plagueis, his relationship with Sheev Palpatine, and how Palpatine grew as an apprentice and ultimately became the master. And it also introduces, it shows that, which is really great, until it gets to the part that is concurrent with episode 1. Then it feels like all that stuff is just being mentioned and that I should just have an idea because I've seen the movie. I should have prior knowledge, which I do, but it's still not bad. It's just, The weakest part was the Darth Maul introduction and his background, because he's introduced and he kind of disappears for most of it, and then he's reintroduced to die. He doesn't get a lot of development, but it was still a good book. I enjoyed that. I enjoy James Luceno's Star Wars novels. I will continue to read Star Wars Legends books, Star Wars Extended Universe books. Anyway, now what I'm currently on, and hopefully I will finish this tonight, is Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf, which is a book I read back in college. I am directly in the middle of the novel now. But I read it back in college, and I totally did not understand it then, because it's so it's got a lot of stream of consciousness, and it was a difficult text for me. I was still really used to traditional narratives, and to be honest, I still am. But this time around, I'm able to parse through it a lot better. There's still parts where I get like, wait, we were just thinking about something else, like at the beginning of the page. Where did we make this transition? So still a difficult text for me, but I'm getting a lot more out of it. And I will reread this book again one day, and I'm looking forward to that day. I'm still doing my best. I'm reading it a lot slower than I read it in college, and I'm reading it a lot slower than I normally do, just so I can really enjoy Virginia Woolf's writing. She's so psychological and fantastic, and like there's so many moments where I just feel like I understand, like I feel that, or like, wow. It's just, you rendered it so beautifully. Can't praise it enough. I will make a review when I finish it, because it's fantastic. As far as another book that we saw last week, I've made it a decent way through. A couple more with O. Henry, the selected stories. I'm starting to vibe with him a little bit more than I was last week. He's still not a writer that I can say, like, I really enjoy this guy, but he's growing on me in some way, just not fully. Anyway, another book that I will start tonight, but I won't be reading it. My girlfriend will be reading it to me, because she wants to practice her English. She's Chinese, and while her oral English has really improved, because we only speak in English because she wants to practice that. Let's say she was down here. She really grew when she met me, and then we started dating, but now she's kind of plateaued. So I figure next best thing to do she reads a lot of online fiction novels, but she reads them in Chinese. So we're going to read The Trumpet of the Swan, my favorite children's book. She's going to read it to me, one chapter a night, and hopefully, we'll keep up with that. And we'll find some other books like this. I think she can handle it. Her English is pretty good, but yeah, like I said, she's peaked and she wants to get better, so I figured what better way than to read to me. So that'll be fun. After Mrs Dalloway by Virginia Woolf, I'm going to read Mort by Terry Pratchett. It's a book I have on loan from work because I work for, it's not quite a library, and it's closed to the kids anyway. But like the place I work has a library because we teach kids English literacy in China. So yeah, all those books are just sitting there. I figured, well, let me borrow them. Let me borrow some of them. I can only borrow 4 at a time. So I got The Trumpet of the Swan, James and the Giant Peach. I got that a while ago, and I read it, and I did a little review. And Mort by Terry Pratchett is the next book I'm going to read. I've read Raising Steam, which is the 40th book. This is the 4th. I really enjoyed Raising Steam, though I did feel like, it was my first Terry Pratchett book. I felt like, wow, I see what people see in Terry Pratchett, but it did feel like it was, the seams were loose. And my guess is that is because he was suffering from Alzheimer's at the end of his life, unfortunately. It was still good. It is a wild, wacky adventure with Moist von Lipwig, where locomotives are introduced to the Discworld, and that was madness, and I loved it. So, yeah, it's a good book, and I'm looking forward to Mort, which is the first book that follows death, because there's different characters that follow. There's different parts of Discworld that follow different characters, from what I understand. I don't know. It'll be my second Discworld book, and that makes me happy because I really enjoyed Raising Steam. Anyway, last one. Another book I borrowed from the library. I will read this next, and that would be Stephen Erickson's Gardens of the Moon, which is, I believe, the first book of the Malazan Book of the Fallen series. If it's not, I will look into it when I finally get to this. But if it's not, then I guess I won't read it, because there's no sense in reading the third book when the first when you need in the third book in a series when the order is important. Maybe the order isn't important. I'll look into it. I just got it because I saw it and I thought, oh, that'd be an interesting series to start, and I'm pretty sure this is the first one. I didn't actually see anything, but I have been interested in this series for a long time, so I'm a little confused. You see these numbers, 4.9 for Trumpet of the Swan, which is like the reading level, essentially, for difficulty. Malazan book is 5.5. I've heard this is sort of notoriously difficult to follow, just because there's so much information and there's not a lot of callback, so it's just like the story keeps on trucking, which is not a bad thing. But if that is true, why is it only 0.6 more? I don't know. More importantly, why is Mort a 5.7? Like, I will believe that this book is harder than this one. This book is, I don't know, maybe 250 pages roughly. And this book is probably 300 pages. So, okay, yeah, there's more to it. Maybe there's different language and different ideas, because this is fantasy. I can see it being more difficult. But this is half the pages. The text is also bigger. So, this is also why? I don't understand the system. Maybe I'm not meant to question it. But those are the books that's the book I read, the Star Wars book. These are the books I'm reading, the Penguin Classics ones. And I will read these next by myself. And my girlfriend will read this so she can practice her English. And that will be my video for Oh, what's going on in my reading life? Oh, that was my thumb. Hello. Okay, thank you. Goodbye. Have a good one. Let me know what you're reading, yeah? Okay, cool. Bye.